Hello everyone, Noah here, and we're back for another video. It's kind of like a reaction video. Just a day ago, Mineshaft Behind the Scenes was released for the behind the scenes of Mineshaft by Black Plasma Studios, which Mont27P, the animator, is narrating. So a few things to actually get over once. Sorry, I worded that wrong, but a few things I actually have to get out of the way before we start. This is not going to be like a classic reaction video. It's more like going to be me providing my commentary on stuff that Mont says. Because I tried to record a reaction video yesterday when it actually came out, and I was rendering in Blender in the background, and the recording was screwed up a lot. So, well, yeah, that was a problem. And also, I need to go and quickly disable my Discord notifications because those are getting annoying. How do I turn those off? Get rid of the message sound. Okay. Anyway, yeah. This is, I already watched the whole reaction video thinking I was reacting to it in real time, but the video failed, so I'm just going to have to redo it. I've already seen the video, so it's not going to be like the same as watching it for the first time. I'm just going to provide a little bit of commentary on what he says, and that's all. Just another thing I want to say, this will obviously have spoilers for the animation. Please watch me. Sorry, no, please don't watch me. I meant, well, I like the support, but I meant watch Mineshaft on Black Plasma Studios. My voice fails sometimes, forgive me. And if you want, you can also watch me reacting to it and me reacting to the bloopers, and I'll leave a link to the bloopers and all that extra stuff in the description. So, anyway, and also another thing, just one last thing I want to say, big thanks to Mont27P for actually commenting on these reaction videos and supporting me. It really is a dope feeling when like the people you look up to like show their support in the YouTube comment sections or like interact with fans. It's like from the fan perspective, like from the people who are like looking up to these people, it's an awesome feeling. I just want to get out of the way. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking the time to go to my channel, watch my content that appreciates yours and appreciate my content as well. Just thank you so much for all that. Anyway, I'm just gonna start the video because why not? And I'll try to like not talk over Mont because that would be rude. So I'll just try to like pause. So, yeah, let's go.
Hello there.
General Kenobi. I'm sorry, Mont. I had to do it. General Kenobi. You just got Kenobi'd. I got Kenobi'd by inspiration the other day, so I had to spread it to someone else. Now to get rid of the curse, you got to Kenobi someone else before the end of the day. All right, you got it. Okay. Okay. I don't know why I said everything without laughing until the very end, because...
I'm Mont27P, the
Hello,
creator
Mont27P.
of Mineshaft, here with a bit of a behind the scenes into the making of my recent animation. I'll be going into some things on the story, world, general production, and a few other things which may pique people's interest.
Annotations.
Mineshaft was my first animation on the Black Plasma channel, which I started working on pretty soon after I applied at the start of the year. Early production for things like brainstorming, I believe, started in mid-January.
It's a lot of work, actually, like, from January to, what was it? I believe July? Yeah, I think July.
Brainstorming a few different stories or features I could explore. The two main concepts I ended up going with was a mineshaft and an earthquake. In the end, I basically just combined them. I had a few different docs organizing the story and
yeah, I didn't even notice that's like the first time I was watching. Baby Slime is at you, Jerry, and Giant Slime. Interesting, because it's a reference to Jerry the Slime, which is one of the much earlier videos that Black Plasma Studios made back in like 2016. So that's cool. I like that.
An earthquake. In the end, I basically just combined them. I had a few different docs organizing the story and dot points, sometimes even going into more complex forms. The giant slime is essentially the cause of everything. After losing the baby slime, the giant ends up stressing out, causing multiple earthquakes.
We all do that. I too cause multiple earthquakes when I'm upset. But yeah, I think that makes sense.
Steve and Alex, who are passing above, ventured
Jokes
out
aside.
to explore the exposed mine shaft and discover the cause of the earthquake. The pair both go through different experiences as they are separated. Steve having less fortunate experiences for majority. Later on,
Oh, that was funny.
Steve
All of Steve's misfortunes.
falls into an open area. The cause of the earthquake is exposed to him, who slowly looks up as the ground shakes. This I feel could have been exaggerated a little more. I saw a few people were a little confused later on as to why they were chasing this random slime.
Well, I mean, something I really like about Mont27P in this scenario is that he's actually like thinking of what he could have done better. It's like a growth mindset. It's like look back at your work and say, well, it's all right or it's good, but there's definitely some things that can be improved for next time. Like, for example, I could have done this better, I could have done that better. He's all like considering that. And he was also, when I was DMing him on Discord, and I was saying that his fan-made animation Life 4, which was before he applied for BPS, or before he was in BPS. I think it was before he applied too, but yeah, he basically told me, well, the story could have been a bit better, but I appreciate the support. So yeah, he's thinking about like how he could have improved. Like, surely he's using all of these, like, if for Mineshaft too, you can tell that he's actually like actively considering what he could have improved on, or what he can improve on in the future. That it's more like that, because like if you didn't get something right this time, you can do it right the next time. So yeah, it's really cool that he's actually like considering, because you need a growth mindset to get better. You can't just be like, oh, this is fine, this is perfect. Well, you can say this is fine because it might be. This is definitely better than fine. I really enjoyed Mineshaft, but you can't just say this is perfect and I don't have to improve, because then you'll end up not improving, which is a problem. So Mont has the right idea. He's like reflecting on his work and thinking of how he can get better. So really applaud you on that one. Anyway, let's continue.
Reuniting the slime with the mother calms her down, and they both travel off, concluding Alex and Steve's adventure. In the end, though, we see the baby slime once again decided to follow them. Agitating them though again, it comes crashing through the village. And they all die. I think there were
They all
some
die.
interesting concepts in here though, like
Oh yeah,
forming ravines.
that was really cool.
A bit more of a lead up into the giant slime though.
Yeah, so again, we have him like considering what he could have done better. I really like that. I think it's a great idea. Like, you should always be reflecting on your work and thinking of how you can improve. I've said that enough already, so yeah. Good on you, Mont. Good on you. I really commend that sort of attitude, because it's gonna get you somewhere in the future.
While story elements were being finished, I went looking for maps. I started by doing a bit of searching online. I ended up stumbling across an old map with a ravine running through the village. I regenerated the seed because of a few problems. The ravine was gone, but there was a nicer village in its place. I knew I probably wouldn't be able to find the perfect map with a village, ravine, and mineshaft next to each other. So
Yeah,
I ended up
chances.
looking into modifying it myself. This map had so many ravines within such a...
As Thanos would say, fine, I'll do it myself. Was that even a good Thanos impression? I don't think it was. But yeah.
small space, which is why this map worked out so well. I essentially ended up joining two ravines together and using that as one long one. I flattened out the area around the village in World Painter, which ended up creating some strange trees on the edges. World
Yes,
played a
bench
large part
trees.
here, brought over the ravines, modelled the work back together, then went and searched for a mineshaft and essentially did the same thing with World Edit, before doing a few cleanups and doing additional things like lamps, which I added for light sources.
Oh, those lamps are really cool, actually. So I'm glad he added those. The lighting from the lamps was also pretty nice. So, yeah, good job.
Interestingly, in the end, there were technically 3 ravines connected right next to each other, with the third being right below the entrance. I wish I recorded some of the process. It would have been cool to see it all come together.
I mean, he recorded some of it here. Actually, no, wait, is this... Oh, is this just him, like, flying around the world and, like, showing what happened? As I think this might actually be, like, a post-recording. But, yeah, I guess it would have been cool if he recorded it. But, it's alright.
I went and built a few extra areas in the world, including a few towns and outposts, paths, and
Those are good builds. And,
totally full of peas.
Phalios' own brand peas. Fallius brand own brand peas. I had to do it. I had to.
It was
I had
time
to do it.
get into the animation production. Animation started out with layout paths in which I'd have characters slide around the scenes to get the general flow. It actually took me a while to get through
BB slime.
animation. I'm pretty sure I spent upwards of 2 months on it. Eventually, I was able to get right into the core animation stage. I'm still balancing animation with my last year of school, so it's been a balancing act. So, scene 1. We have a small earthquake take place in the opening.
So yeah, layout. I don't do layout in my animations yet. I usually just go right into character animation. Because the animations I make so far are not really large scale. If I ever move into large scale animations, which I think is my goal eventually, I'll probably have to have layout so I get like a basic feel of where everything should be, where everything should go, where like everything should happen, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, I definitely think it's a good idea to have layout because then you actually get like the general feel of what should happen without like actually having to spend ages on the entire character animation, which you'll still have to do, but you can do it later. It might be a bit convenient to do that, so yeah, I might think about using layout at some point. So a layout stage at some point. So yeah, let's move on.
Foreshadowing the later events.
Let me go back a bit.
A small earthquake take place in the opening, foreshadowing the later events. The bread here actually used to be an apple. Don't know why I said that, but now you know.
It's the most important detail.
A midday type feel. Nicer turquoise colours for the mist, few warmer colours for the sun. At this point, I did dramatically change around the way I lit and composited scenes, compared to before.
The compositing looks really nice, yeah.
To be an interesting comparison. Scene 2. Alex and Steve stumble into the village, do a bit of trading, while we get to see a bit of the village activity.
Hero Brian, man.
This wasn't the same village that we seen Villager Raid in Ocean Monument though. Earthquake time! The earthquake was really fun to play with. I ended up basically splitting the world into two, then parenting half of the divided world into an axis, which would allow me to move apart and create the ravine. I then filled in the gaps with different blocks and played around. I ended up manually animating each individual block, snapping, reacting.
I love that. The effort.
This was a rather tedious process, but I felt it was definitely worth it, considering I wouldn't be able to get the same result if I just used a physics system. I then also had particles on the initial break.
It was really cool how he animated every block.
Basically done here for the ravine at the opening.
I appreciate the effort. It must have taken a while. He said it was this tedious process. So yeah, that's really cool. Like, thank you so much for actually putting in all that effort to make this enjoyable animation. Not even just in general, not even just with the blocks, just, you did an amazing job. Like, please know that. Anyway, let's move on.
I don't think there's too much on scene 3. They arrive at the entrance of the mineshaft, they choose their paths as we see them start their own adventures. Steve is less fortunate as we see Alex's calm path. The minecart itself was the original default flat minecart found in Minecraft, but then ZophieCat sent me a really cool rig which allowed me to play around.
Oh yes.
So
ZophieCat is like the go-to for rigging for Black Plasma. She did a lot of the rigging for Songs of War as well. So yeah, that's really cool. Sorry, I don't think I had anything left to say, but I felt like I did, and I said,
Allow me to play around.
Yeah, ZophieCat is cool.
So, thanks to her on that. Oh, the spiders, how could I forget? The spiders.
Oh yes, the spiders.
Both the spiders and slimes I actually really enjoyed animating. I did manually
It does sound like fun.
legs to make sure they stayed in their position after each frame. It was satisfying to see it all come together, so I think it was all worth the time. A lot of people really seem to like the spider stuff, so I'm glad I enjoyed it.
I did love the spider animation. I thought it was so well done. So, again, major thanks. It seemed like it had a lot of effort put into it, which I'm sure it did. So, yeah. Spiders were cool. And I actually am kind of a fan of spiders in real life too, because, well, they are basically, well, at least here, because in Canada we don't really get really bad spiders, but here we just get like these tiny spiders that are completely harmless. Usually, I'm saying usually, there's always the rare occasions, but yeah. In Canada we got like small harmless spiders, and spiders are probably more helpful here than they are like hurtful. in the sense that, yeah, if you didn't have spiders, you would have like this huge fly overpopulation, which would be awful. I'm just being honest here. And spiders are like the last line of defense between, are like the last line of defense against the fly overpopulation, and a fly overpopulation would not be ideal. So big props to spiders there, and again, big props to Mont for animating the spiders well. Imagine if spiders in real life were the size of spiders in Minecraft, and that would be horrifying. All right, I digress. I digress. Okay, let's move on.
Extra time. Coming into the underground stuff, I had to look around how I was going to light everything. In pre-production, as I mentioned, I built extra lamps in areas to add to the natural light sources like torches and lava.
I thought the lighting was pretty good too.
I think also helped with filling in the pitch black areas in the background to add a little more depth and colour. Generally though, I resorted mainly choosing spotlights to light subjects. I reckon I could have tried having a few high contrasts though. Some areas were a little flat, I feel. Another element were the particles. Something I probably didn't use in moderation for most of the part. Fly, my particles, fly!
Those particles were really cool.
Were pretty fun to play with. Scene 4.
Why are you getting these little ad
The
things?
first song I was definite on using. I personally thought it fit perfectly as soon as I started brainstorming for this section. There was also an interesting cut here using the fence post. Steve's bad luck continues through this montage, which was one of the main elements of this animation.
That was a great
He
song.
towards the end got his fair share of adventure when Alex was trapped in the webs. The effects around
Yeah, the
Steve's
irony.
stew were interesting.
How the tables turn.
For Alex, I primarily played around with compositing, some contrast and clearing up the surroundings to represent night vision. Steve's was a combination of compositing and effects. I had this 2D plane surrounding the camera with a gradient controlling.
2D planes are always the answer. Just ask David.
I imagined it a little different, but I think it served its purpose. The little section where Steve's light goes out was actually two separately rendered sections. You can kind of see the fade between the two clips if you look closely as the moths pop in. At the end, this is where Steve falls into the open area where the giant slime lies. I probably could have exaggerated a shadow or something, which I did attempt with this weird bouncy cube.
That's the real slime.
The hunt for the slime begins. Alex here is unaware that the giant is the cause of the earthquake. It still helps Steve out. Another early idea here I think worked really well. I wanted to include a shot similar to those comedic moments with people running in and out of different doors.
Yeah, I like that.
And this platform area worked perfectly. I added a few extra characters in the background, including both Yi, Derp, and even Grim.
I didn't even notice Derp and Grim on my first watch of Mineshaft. I noticed Yi, or I don't even notice him on my first watch, but like on one of my watches of Mineshaft, I did notice Yi. I never noticed Derp or Grim until I watched the behind the scenes. So you did a good job hiding those from me. I love how Grim's in it. Grim is awesome.
Once Steve finally catches up and kills the zombies, he earns the slime's trust, taking him back to reunite with the mother. Alex eventually falls back down from a slow adventure, missing the whole slime encounter. After all the adventure is over, they return to the village.
And then they all die. No, they don't.
They do not climb up the entire distance of the ravine. The camera actually hides the blocks which they use to tower themselves up to the surface. While developing the story, it was also proposed to end on them returning the slime. Personally, I wanted to go for a bit more of a comedic ending, so I hope they came across well in the end. There are
I liked it.
details I feel I could have added had I spent more time on effects, but there were a few nice details of the falling trees, leaves, and so on.
I mean, it's like Sam said in Ask the Animator for Amalev's Beast fight, which was like the post-premiere party. I was in it. I heard him say this. Sometimes you just don't have to make your current project look perfect. Don't like spend more weeks just like fixing minor things that nobody really minds in the actual finished video. After all, that time could be better spent working on the next thing. I definitely think that's a good mindset to have. Those are words to live by. So don't worry about making. So Mont, if you're watching this, don't worry about making absolutely everything look perfect. You can look back on your projects and think of how you can improve and use the improvement for the next project. And like I said, like Sam said, I should really say that Sam said it because he did. You don't have to fix every minor issue in your current project when that time could be better spent working on and improving for your next project. So, yeah, I would say, and Mont, if you are watching, please take Sam's advice. He speaks wisely. Or don't. I mean, you don't have to. Everyone has a different mindset. But yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
That ended the animation stage, brought in skins, did final touches and so on. Before BPS, I used to render a good chunk of stuff myself.
I like how they're all Steve.
Probably did like 1% of this project with my 30-minute render times. I also got a lot of help from the
You should see my render times. I have to use Sheep at Render Farm. Big thanks to Inspiration for telling me about that, by the way.
Lord of Ice, who probably ended up rendering a good minute.
Lord of the Ice is like a moderator on BPC, I think.
So, massive thanks there. I eventually
The Plasma Discord.
got into editing and sound design. Most sound stuff I used from Epidemic, which is where we get most of our music. Music-wise, I felt I kind of struggled with. There were a few sections which I was a little concerned about, like when Alex jumps off the ravine and the ending song, which may have not fit. Editing in general,
Did it not fit?
I had to enjoy.
I thought all the songs fit.
Towards the end of production, I got in and designed a few different thumbnails. There are a lot of
These are all really cool thumbnails, but I do like the finished one.
Interesting to get in and see what best fits. Then
Those blooper thumbnails are hilarious.
reading comments and seeing how it all goes.
So yeah, he had like a bunch, he was just watching all the reactions. So I would just say I love people who do that. If like people react to their stuff, if the person who made the thing that got reacted to, let me say this better. I'm not really wording it great, but so Mont made the animation, people reacted to it. Mont came and actually watched all the reactions and gave support to all those channels, and including me. He said mine was one of his favorites as far as reactions go. So I really appreciated that. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That's what I'm saying. And thank you for like being here and supporting this channel. It's a soul for a soul. I support your work and you support mine. And well, anyway, let's move on. Thank you so much, Mont. Thank you so much. And actually, Amuleto did the same thing for Beast Fight. I forgot to mention that. He commented some support on my reaction for Beast Fight. So yeah, thanks to him as well if he's watching. Yeah. All right, let's go.
That concludes the behind the scenes for Mineshaft, my first animation on the Black Plasma channel. I've learned a lot.
Great for a first. I loved it. That's all I'm gonna say. I've already said enough.
Which has been exciting. There's certainly things like the story depth. I've learned a lot in the process, which has been exciting. There's certainly things like
you always
story
learn.
depth, which I could be looking at along with other points. I'm open to any feedback or suggestions people have. Overall, I hope people did enjoy it. And
I did. I loved it.
Projects from other animators. There's a few separate videos.
I'm looking forward to future projects from BPS, whether it be from Mont specifically or whether it be from the rest of the animators. Everyone at BPS does a good job. I wholeheartedly believe that. They have, or at least all the animators, probably everyone, but the animators do a phenomenal job. I think I enjoy like every animation they make. I haven't found, maybe like a few back in the old days that I wasn't too attached to, but these days I find myself enjoying pretty much everything they upload. So yeah, I'm really excited for any future BPS projects. Especially since Mont, you had a great start with this one. So I'm definitely excited to see what you come up with in the future. What do you come up with in the future? I'm wondering if I mumbled through that, sorry.
To do around the productive future projects from other animators. There's a few separate videos I'm wanting to do around the production of Mineshaft, probably more on my personal channel.
Yeah, I might watch those as well.
Look forward to other animations.
No, I'm gonna watch those for sure. I will.
Bye.
Bye, Mont. And thanks for making this behind the scenes video. I find behind the scenes content very interesting, so that's really cool. And again, thank you for going and actually being on the channel and giving support and being supportive. Really, it warms my heart. Thank you so much. And anyway, I think that's just about it. I hope you all, the rest of you, all the viewers, enjoyed watching this little video of my commentary. And I will see you all next time. Bye.